Alrighty, WDW Pro, about 6 hours ago, dropped a video about Jeremy Renner telling Marvel accountants or Disney accountants to go fly a kite.
Yeah, which I guess it showed up on, TikTok?
Yeah, that's a polite way of saying go get fucked.
But it was Jeremy Renner doing his own video, and
or he was on the Joe Rogan, whatever.
Yeah, but this video was just him doing a selfie video that showed up on TikTok. That's the clips that WDW was showing, and I mean, it was him talking straight to us about how apparently they were in negotiations or talks for a Hawkeye season 2.
Which what?
Right?
Why?
Who knows?
I mean, real. Let's talk about that first. Who would want that?
Potentially because of the accident that he had. That he almost, and they thought maybe they could capitalize on that, bring Hawkeye back for another season. Which I don't know if they even had any kind of a concept for what it was going to be like or about. But they only offered him half the money that they paid him for the first season.
All right, but hold on, right there. I understand. He's a hero to the family member that he threw out of the way, and he got eaten up by a thresher or something.
And he's all of a sudden this role model.
Yeah, because he's not a role model. He's an actor,
right?
And who uses weapons and guns and stuff, and then bitches about gun control. So he's a hypocrite. There, I've said my piece about it. That doesn't mean that Marvel or Disney or whoever the fuck should offer him less money for the same fucking role, And he's kind of, I think he's kind of hoisted on his own petard, and he's trying to throw shade in another direction.
Well, I think he's butthurt over not being cast in Doomsday.
Yes, that too.
I mean, right? Because he's not on the list.
He should be. He's one of the ones that survived.
He already turned down doing season 2, and I'm sure that plays into it that, well, you already turned us down for this. You're not going to be doing this other one, whatever. And whatever they're paying everybody to do Doomsday probably wouldn't have been enough for him, But he's Hawkeye, though. How much is Hawkeye worth? Not Jeremy Renner. How much is Hawkeye worth, right? Right?
Yeah, I'm just saying. What's his first appearance? Tales of Suspense 43 with Black Widow, maybe? I don't know.
It was way back in the 60s, yeah. Hawkeye goes back. He does.
I know.
But he's never had his own title.
He has.
He had a couple of miniseries.
Yeah, in the 80s.
No, limited series, not his own monthly ongoing book.
I'm not defending him. I'm just saying
that the status of the character.
Yeah.
Not him as a person or as an actor, but Hawkeye.
Yeah. So he's
what's Hawkeye really worth? And
the only thing that he did worth a damn was he died in Avengers 500 and started off disassembled.
Well, yeah, and he was the leader of the West Coast Avengers when they did that,
Okay.
And that was kind of reflected in the Hawkeye series because the gal that was what's her name, Kate Bishop's mother? Auntie, whatever, where they went to her place because she was not there. And then they had the movie posters and they showed that she'd have been an actress.
Yeah.
That gal, Moira, whatever her name was the owner of the mansion that was the West Coast Avengers headquarters.
Oh, okay.
So that was like an Easter egg. And Hawkeye was the leader of that team. And she was a Hollywood actress, retired with the great big house that they used like Tony Stark's place on the East Coast.
But it was Tony Stark's place in the comic book, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Tony Stark's mansion.
In the comic book.
In the comic,
On the West Coast, too.
No, it was this actress gal's. She was the owner of the house, and she was like...
I thought it, because...
No, I Googled it, because I saw the gal's name, and I looked it up, and yeah, she was at the... In the comic, in the West Coast Avengers, she was the one who owned the house that they used as their, and maybe they moved it to a Stark property later, but
okay, I'm just saying, yeah,
that's who she was. And anyway, but that was a connection to Hawkeye. It was because he was on that team. Anyway,
but I'm just
not that makes him worth all that much.
I'm kind of just indifferent.
And I don't want to sound like all down on whatever. I mean, everybody's worth as much as they're worth. But, I mean, when you look at like the hierarchy and the status of these characters in the big picture, it's like how much is somebody going to be playing Hawkeye? Well, how much is that character really worth to pay somebody to play it?
But he is one of the original in the movie verse. Yeah.
Yes, he goes all the way back to the Thor movie.
Yeah.
His
So
first appearance as Hawkeye.
So they got to bite the bullet, Kevin.
And he is, in a public image right now at this moment of being this guy who saved somebody's life and almost at the expense of his own life. They could be capitalizing on that.
Yeah.
And maybe they wanted to with season 2, but if they were going to capitalize on it, they needed to pay him to do it. You got to spend money to make money, right?
Yeah, but they aren't making any money because they
it could have just been that all the people, the accounting people, were looking at the budget and the expenditures of the first season and said, you know what, we overspent on this. We're going to have to trim it back because we could do the same thing for less money. And
could have done it the first season looking at that way.
But I mean, in retrospect, maybe we overspent on this. And so maybe we,
Hindsight is always 20/20. They should have seen it ahead of time.
But
whether it was quality or not, it was still crap. It was a shit show. And they should have, and if they were really as smart as they all think they are, they should have fucking done Thunderbolts right after fucking Hawkeye. Either as a TV show or as a fucking movie. Not wait 5 fucking years for all the other bullshit.
No, you know what? I totally agree. They should have followed up that first year.
Yeah.
WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Loki, Hawkeye, Thunderbolts, before they gave us She-Hulk or Ms. Marvel or any of the other stuff that came later. But Thunderbolts should have been the direct follow-up. And right along with Brave New World, Captain America, should have been right in there, man. Well, it was still fresh and everybody, because that was what the setup for it was. It took them so long to come back to it, everybody...
Who gives a fuck?
You forgot about any of the stuff that happened in the first place, even if you watched it.
And Sam Wilson is not a Captain America. I don't care what you say.
No, and it's not going to last forever.
And Thunderbolts proved that Bucky needed to have the shield.
Right, which may be what they're building to. I mean, really, but to put that kind of dynamics into these great big blockbusters and expect people to,
Yeah, instead of just a kind of... And they need to have these TV shows be cut rate. I don't know how the fuck...
No, the TV shows need to be the more in-depth and in detail because you can take time to develop it in a series like that.
But then
blockbuster movie is the blockbuster.
You have to have people who are willing to write and who know how to write. Character development.
Well,
and none of them fucking do it.
I mean, there was a time, 15 years ago, whatever...
And you can say all you want about Joss Whedon, but he got his characters developed.
Doing a Marvel gig. Everybody and their mother wanted to do a Marvel gig 15 years ago.
Yeah.
They would... Robert Redford, man.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
So, it's just more shit.
But now, nobody wants to touch a Marvel thing. I mean, they don't even want to touch it, because...
Do you blame them?
No, and that's my point. Try to get good people to come in and do it for you when they wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. That's the thing. They've lost all their best talent, and
they aren't cultivating new talent.
Right.
That's the problem. You always have to have somebody in the background willing to step up. And I'm talking about writers. I'm talking about you. I'm talking about me. I'm talking about people that actually know this shit. Why do you defer and don't want that? Because it's not the message? Because we don't like ladyboys? What the fuck's the problem? Seriously. Really, seriously. What the fuck?
Well, it goes back to what we talked about in writing. They just don't want to do their research. And
well, then they need to step aside and let people who know it, who fucking breathe it, who fucking know it, fucking come in and do it.
Oh, no, can't do it like that.
And then I liked your comment when we were
watching...
watching...
Those people are too difficult. You ask them to do something, and they say, oh, no, that character would never do that, because they know what they're talking about. And, but we have to do this and this for the, for the demographic. And, no, fuck that. We ain't doing it like that. They're too difficult because they know what they're talking about.
That's bullshit.
No, but that's
that's their mindset.
It is totally their mindset. They
and then when we were watching,
you know what you're doing. They just want you to plunk out your shit, take your check, and
get the fuck on,
and let them do whatever they're going to do with it.
But when we were watching the video, you said, "Are you sure Kathleen Kennedy isn't involved with Marvel?"
I mean, really, dude. It's just
And with that,
the downward spiral is just,
parallel.
It sucks.
With that, like, share, subscribe.